What's up guys, my name's Jed, and I grew up on the PlayStation 1. I've gathered a tower of my favourite PlayStation 1 games from when I was a kid. I've managed to collect most of them as well, which is awesome, and I decided to talk about them, because why not? Just about everyone loves PlayStation 1. So you'll notice a few of these games are going to be pretty strange. Some of them you've heard about before, and some are flagship PS1 games, meaning that they're very popular. I grew up in a small city. There was not many rental stores back then when I was a kid. There was a few left. I have a lot of fond memories with my family, going there on a late night on a Friday, and going to get pizza and going to Blockbuster. And you'll find that some of these games I talk about today, some of them are from that time and place, and some of them I've owned for a very long time. One of the strangest ones we'll start with, because why not, is Gekido. So the thing that makes Gekido interesting is it's a third-person beat-em-up game on the PS1, and I used to rent this all the time from Blockbuster. It's such a strange game. It's got 93% stars on the back as well. And it says here on the back, the race is on to rescue an innocent girl from the clutches of a gang intent on summoning an unholy demon to this hellish city. But is it already too late? Fist against fist, weapon against weapon, the fight for survival is on. So straight off the bat, sounds like such a strange game. But Gekido Urban Fighters was such an iconic classic. I don't know if it was the main cover that drew me in with the large text, or it was just the gameplay, but it seemed super ahead of its time, and I don't remember the game looking that bad either. And the coolest thing about this game is I'm pretty sure this is actually the one from the rental store. I bought it from them. They had $10 weekly or $5 network video overnight, as you can see from the front. And I just noticed as of the recording of this that this actually is the copy from the Blockbuster, which is insane. So super stoked to still have this. We're going to continue with one that's one of my all-time favorites that a lot of you know. It's Time Crisis. Now, Time Crisis 1 and 2 are by far some of the best video games ever made. The coolest thing about Time Crisis is the light gun. Being able to point it at your TV and actually fight bad guys on screen was insane as a kid. But sadly, I didn't really have access to that kind of technology back then. I pretty much played every kind of Guitar Hero game or shooter game that used the light gun with a PS1 or 2 controller. Yeah, I was that kid. But I didn't mind it. Like, I loved using a PS1 or 2 controller. But there's something really cool about this kind of game, and being able to play it now on a TV. If you manage to pick up a CRT TV pretty cheap, you can play it. I had one about 2 or 3 years ago, but I sold it just because I wasn't using it and it was just redundant. But the memories of it are great. I still have the gun somewhere. I still have 2 Namco guns and 1 PS2 gun con. Either way, I still love collecting them, and Time Crisis is a classic. Now we're going to roll over to one that I can also see I bought from a secondhand store. However, I also used to watch the demo all the time. It's Destruction Derby. Now, Destruction Derby was a PS1 classic. It was one of the first ever Destruction Derby games I ever played, besides Driven to Destruction on the PS2. Now, I used to see this game a lot in like the network video, PS1 and PS2 network videos they used to have. They used to play a lot of online multiplayer net play promotional demo videos on demo discs, and I was an owner of a lot of demo discs growing up. So I actually never really got to play this, but I always wanted to. So I picked it up for $2 at a cash converters back when I used to work there, and yeah, just thought I'd keep that one. Next up is a game that I never played, but I inherited, and I still have. And I just spoke to my grandma about this actually recently, and she still remembers the game very fondly. It's Final Fantasy VII, and yes, this is actually my grandmother's copy of the game. She used to play this all the time before I was born, apparently, and she loved it. She could never get through it, though. But this is one of those games. It's on PAL. It's an original copy with Squaresoft on it, and just everything about this game is iconic. I don't really need to say much about this one, but having this in your collection is an absolute gem. Now, we're going to talk about one of my all-time favorites. It's Spyro, but it's not the first one. It's Year of the Dragon. This is the one with the skateboarding in it. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. This Spyro with the skateboarding, insane. I remember playing this level all the time as a kid. I'd just go back to the skateboard level. I wouldn't even bother with the story. I'd just play this as like a sandbox Tony Hawk's game and just ride around as Spyro on a skateboard. Absolutely loved it. I probably should get ahead to finishing at some point. But either way, amazing game. Spyro, Year of the Dragon. Can never go wrong. Now, another one that's a classic in my family. I picked this one up recently actually, but of course I had a copy somewhere, I'm sure. It's actually Duke Nukem 3D for the PS1. Never played it on the PS1 growing up, but it's good to have an actual official copy of it. And I think I picked this up as well for like maybe $10 or something at a secondhand store. It's got a used game sticker on it, which is neat, with 1 year warranty. It's probably expired by now, but I just love the back. I love seeing all the little iconic thumbnails and images of the game with 3D realms in the corner there. For those that don't know, I'm a big fan of Quake, Doom, and anything Call of Duty. Pretty much any boomer shooter or like Call of Duty-esque game I'm a big fan of, just because I grew up playing them a lot. That usually sits in the Quake shrine, but I pulled it out just for this video, because why not? I have a really interesting one to show you guys, but I'm actually going to keep it till last. So we're going to continue on. Next one is Driver. So Driver for the PS1, it really defined everything. I remember trying to do the paint job parking simulator before I had a license, way before, of course, when I was very young. I used to play Driver, and when you hit the car, he'd like scream at you or be like, hey, watch the paint. And I remember those parts fondly of the game. Really funny. Laughing my head off at that game with my family. And it says on the back, screech through the sun-drenched Miami, speed over the hills of San Francisco, or slide across the rain-drenched streets of Los Angeles, or cause chaos in the hustle and bustle of New York. So like, this game, even though you couldn't get out of the car, because you could in later Drivers, Driver 1 was peak. It was what defined GTA likes in the future. Next up is a classic. It's not Call of Duty, but it's close enough. It's Medal of Honor. It's the original Medal of Honor. And actually DreamWorks worked on this, which I was surprised about. So the crazy thing about Medal of Honor is it's just such an iconic game. It's obviously one of the first that ever came out besides Call of Duty that just really defined first-person shooters, especially for a PS1. Like from Duke Nukem, we went from like bitmap kind of graphics to actual 3D graphics. And I feel like Medal of Honor still holds up to this day. The combat and the fighting is a bit strange and janky, but I mean, that's to be expected. But before that, we had GoldenEye, which like pretty much was the same in terms of controls. I'm always requested to play Medal of Honor, whether it be on a stream or recording it as a playthrough. So if that's something you guys would like to see, let me know. But Medal of Honor is amazing. Next up is one of my all-time favorites, platforming. I didn't grow up with Nintendo games much as a kid. I had a PSP and a DS Lite, and I really did just lean towards Sony more. I don't know why, I think I just enjoyed them more. I enjoyed the like grittier games when I was younger, I guess. So I always leaned towards PlayStation. And speaking of gritty and edgy games, here we have Pac-Man World. Not edgy at all, but it's such a good third-person platformer. And I love this cover because it says all new 3D Pac-Man game on the front, which is insane, with an old pre-owned sticker for $19. Now, I recently did play through this. It's probably not recent as of the recording of this video, but I have uploaded it recently. And I played the remaster on PlayStation 5, and it held up pretty well, but nothing beats the charm of the original, especially with the original sounds. A lot of remakes, they do tend to like change the sounds and things, but this one, it's got all the original sounds and it's awesome. And as it says on the back, a multi-layered ghost chase gaming with free-roaming 3D environments as Pac-Man. Such a classic game. If you've never played a Pac-Man World, I definitely recommend it. Alright, another third-person platformer that you guys may have heard of, Crash Bandicoot. And this is the original Platinum Disc version of Crash Bandicoot from back in the day. It's a very thin cover, very thin case. Love this game. Not much to say, it's Crash. Crash 1, 2, and 3 were the best. Warped was my favorite, but Crash 1's iconic. So we'll just move on from there. Now the last three games are, I would consider rare on the PS1. Now this isn't all my PS1 games, by the way. We've just gone through ones that remind me of my childhood. So if you do want to see more content like this, make sure to let me know, like the video. Now the last three. So first up, we're going to go with Riven. Now if you guys are going, oh, I know what this is, Riven. This game was a point-and-click adventure game. Never finished it. I'm in the process of playing through it on the channel. Insane game. This was full motion video, back when full motion video games were more prevalent. And the difference is that full motion was actual actors and, you know, green screens and recording. Whereas PlayStation 1 rendered games with polygonal graphics were all actually 3D rendered graphics, right? So think Crash Bandicoot versus like Riven. Like Riven is all people and it's all rendered environments. Crash Bandicoot is real time and it's actually polygonal graphics. Crash is made of polys, therefore it's 3D. Anyway, this isn't a game design educational module, but I'm just saying that's the difference. But what makes Riven so special for me is, once again, this is one of my grandma's favorite games. She absolutely loves it. She wanted me to play it. She begged me to do a playthrough of it, actually. So I decided, what the hell, I'd check it out. And honestly, it's really good. It's pretty much just a mysterious world full of intrigue and betrayal, as it says on the back. And from the screenshots, you can see it's pretty much just like a dystopian sort of like apocalyptic steampunk world, but like, I don't know, you'd say it's more Egyptian than anything. I don't know if it's really steampunkish, but look, it's strange. It's a strange game. It's very cool, and it's just very original. You know, back when games were original and they had original ideas. And it's a sequel to Myst, and arguably it's better than Myst. So there we have it. So this one's still in the wrapper, so you probably can't see the cover very well, but this one is 40 Winks. So this game, I have a bit of a story with this game. I used to play the demo as a kid on a demo disc, and it used to freak me out, man. You go to like an attic in the house, and there'd be like a clock, and that clock used to like jump out, and it used to scare the hell out of me. So this game is another third-person platformer. You play as a brother and a sister, two siblings, and you pretty much got to fight your way through like a mansion. It's kind of like medieval-ish, I guess is the way to put it, that game Medieval. So it's pretty much that as a platformer, but it's a really good game. It's got a lot of charm to it, and yeah, it's just creepy. It's a creepy game, but had to get it in the collection. Found it for $10, which was insane on eBay, free postage, nuts, but such a good game. Now here's the one that I doubt many of you have ever heard of, and I'm surprised I even found a copy of this at my local secondhand store. It's Roll Cage. Now whenever a game has Psygnosis or Signosis, how do you say it? Signosis on it, the owl. You'll see it, the little purple owl in the corner. Or the game starts with that developer. Such a good game. So Roll Cage is a dystopian 360 no rules non-stop racing game. There's a game on Steam called Grip, and it's like the reimagining of Roll Cage. The intro for this game was absolutely badass. It was like a cyberpunk dystopian racing game where like they'd all fight to the death pretty much to like be the leader of the pack. And it just has like such a dark dystopian vibe to it, and just the gameplay was so fun. You could go all the way around tunnels. I remember that as a kid, so your car would drive no matter what side it's on. There was no roof. It was just like either way you could drive around. It reminds me of those RC cars growing up as a kid where you could flip them and they'd keep driving. But this game, the soundtrack was insane, the game was insane, and the coolest part about this copy is it actually says not to be sold separately. So I don't actually know if they did like a promo for this game and it never released properly, or because I also have a promo disc for Roll Cage 2, which I never even knew released. So that absolutely blew me away when I found that. But anyway, that's Roll Cage, guys, and that's the last game on this list. And these are like the games that just like I thought of when I was just sitting down having dinner. I was like, oh my god, I need to talk about some PS1 games I got, because I stare at it all the time. This is pretty much all the games I like really remember as a kid playing, quite prominently actually. I'm sure there's a few I'm missing, but that's like the majority of them. So look, if you guys enjoyed this kind of content, I don't necessarily make it very much, so if you'd like to see more, this is kind of the start of the journey. And thank you guys so much for just tuning in. Hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. Stay deadly, and I'll see you guys in the next one.